In case you haven't been keeping up with social media the last few days, you've missed a good amount of some NFL drama. As most of you guys already know, Antonio Brown was traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Oakland Raiders, I believe a month ago tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Since then, he's been relatively quiet in regards to saying anything Steelers related. So, all seemed well between AB and the Steelers, but I guess all is not well between AB and Juju Smith-Schuster. So yesterday, a guy on Twitter named Steelers Steve tweeted at AB that Juju Smith-Schuster was named the Steelers' 2018 Most Valuable Player. Now, this did not sit too well with AB. He quoted the tweet saying, "Emotion. Boy fumbled the whole postseason in the biggest game of the year. Everyone went blind to busy making guys famous. Not enough reality these days. By the way, check the list." So I'm sure a lot of you guys remember that Juju Smith-Schuster had a very costly fumble at the end of the Steelers-Saints game in Week 16 that essentially cost them a playoff spot. Now, the Steelers still could have lost that game. They probably would have kicked a game-tying field goal, could have missed the field goal, so who knows what could have happened, but a lot of the blame was put on Juju Smith-Schuster after that fumble. Now, I'm sure you guys remember that I think it was a day after that fumble, Juju posted a massive apology on his social media page. I mean, he pretty much owned up to it and he put the entire loss on him, so obviously this is a sore subject for him. So less than an hour after AB tweeted that, Juju tweeted, "Keep your emotions off the internet," which is what Antonio Brown tweeted as well hours prior. Juju then tweeted out saying, "All I ever did was show that man love and respect from the moment I got to the league. I was genuinely happy for him too when he got traded to Oakland with a big contract. And now he takes shots at me on social media. Crazy how big that ego gotta be to take shots at people who show you love." And then, an hour later, Juju tweeted out a photo with a quote from Mark Twain saying, "Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference." So right away, major props to Juju here. This guy was legit blasted, called out on social media for something that obviously doesn't sit well for him. And he was the mature one. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster is younger than I am. And he was the mature one with a guy who's, what, 29 years old, 30 years old, something like that? I mean, he could have easily barked back, he could have started his own feud, he could have called out Antonio for some things, but he didn't. Instead, he was just calm and he expressed his thoughts on the situation. Now, I just think that's really impressive. I mean, if I was in that situation, I would have definitely barked back, I would have tried to start something else, I would have probably added fuel to the fire and made the situation worse, which I think a lot of younger guys would do, especially in the NFL. I mean, if this were the case with a bunch of other these first, second, third-year players, a lot of them would have, fought back. But not Juju. So now, although Juju's only been in the league for a few years, if you follow him on social media, you pretty much have the idea that he's a really wholesome, down-to-earth guy that just likes to have fun. So this really isn't much of a surprise seeing him kind of take the high ground with this whole situation. So anyway, Juju has his response yesterday, and all seemed like it was over. Yeah, we thought wrong. AB took to Instagram today, I guess trying to put Juju on blast again. He posted on his Instagram a message Juju sent him back in 2015 while he was still at USC. "What's up, AB? I'm a wide receiver at USC. I appreciate all your work. You're a great man on and off the field. Do you have any tips that can help take my game to the next level? Thanks, man." So literally, AB takes this message from Juju 4 years ago while he was, 18 years old? Of essentially Juju just being a really good guy and tries to put him on blast. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what Antonio Brown's trying to do here. Like, what exactly is he trying to accomplish with this? Now, like, I could kind of understand if this was like a DM from Juju, like calling AB out, Juju saying something maybe about the team, about another player, something that would make Juju look bad. That I could kind of see to keep this feud going. But he literally just confirmed what we already knew about this whole situation, that Juju is a really good guy and AB isn't. Like, this just makes everything worse for Antonio Brown than it already was. I mean, if you thought things couldn't get worse yesterday, this just brought it to another level. Now, NFL players are getting involved with the situation. Texans safety Justin Reed tweeted out, "I can't wait to smash this dude." Now, props to Justin Reed for tweeting this out, because I'm actually shocked with how little NFL players have tweeted about the situation, not really necessarily taking Juju's back and calling out AB. So, props to Justin, but I'm sure a lot of players are thinking the same thing. And I think Antonio Brown now has the biggest target on his back for next season. Now, there may be some history as to how this situation kind of unfolded. Now, on March 10th, Juju tweeted out this photo of himself catching a touchdown, captioned with, "I'm ready." Now, this came just, I think, a day after Antonio Brown was traded. And as you can clearly see in the background of the photo, Antonio Brown is watching Juju make the touchdown catch. at Oakland. Juju knew exactly what he was doing here. Now, I don't think he was necessarily calling out Antonio Brown. I think he just found the perfect photo to sum up the situation. So I don't think Juju meant any harm with this photo. So then later in March, Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, they took shots at Ben Roethlisberger, with Juju Smith coming to his defense. I was so blessed to enter the league and play with a Hall of Fame quarterback as a 20-year-old. Ben has taught me so much, he's a true leader, and I can't wait to rock with my guy this season. So Antonio Brown posted a tweet that a lot of people assumed was directed at Juju. Do not listen to any NFL player who haven't got paid yet. They will do and say anything to make sure they're going to get paid, even if it's compromising integrity or anything. Sad, but true. Now, Juju took no offense to this. He was asked a few days later by TMZ about his response to the whole situation, to which he responded saying, AB is my guy. So Juju didn't take any offense to it. AB, I guess, was upset, but Juju was still chill with the whole thing. So some weeks went by, and then this finally went down. And Antonio Brown posted this to Twitter today. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not entirely sure what Antonio Brown is trying to do here. If his whole plan is to kind of build himself up as the NFL villain, he's doing a good job with it. Now, whatever the case may be, I think this is absolutely fantastic for the NFL. Now, essentially, the Raiders have been pretty irrelevant for the last few years. Now, with Antonio Brown, they're going to be must-see television. I mean, they would have been anyway after acquiring him, but the Raiders now have a guy who clearly doesn't care anymore about what he says, and seems to kind of like this whole bad boy persona. Like, I'm not going to be shocked if AB calls out more people in the coming months. Like, I feel like this is just the beginning. So I think AB knows what he's doing, I think he wants this to happen, and I think for the Raiders, this is nothing but good for them. I mean, Oakland knew exactly what they were getting themselves into when they traded for him. They knew what his baggage was, they knew what he was coming with, they knew that he was going to be a diva, and they knew that he was probably going to stir some drama. Now, I don't think they were expecting him to create drama this early, or with another team, but he's doing that, and I personally don't think they care at all. If anything, this is bringing more attention and more publicity to the Raiders, and it's going to bring more fans to the stands. Now, in regards to Juju, I think now he is officially going to go off this year. I mean, through the first 2 seasons of each other's career, Juju's numbers are by far better than Antonio Brown's. I mean, we saw what he was capable of last year as a number 2 option. Just imagine what he's going to do this year as their number 1 option. I think after the whole fumble incident took place, Juju is probably destined to have an even bigger year in his 3rd year. But I think now, with Antonio Brown calling him out, I think this just adds more fuel to the fire. I'm not saying he's going to, but I definitely think Juju has a possibility to cement himself as a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL next year. It's definitely going to be exciting to see what he does. I'm just bummed that the Raiders and Steelers don't play this year, because if they matched up, that would be the game of the NFL season. I mean, that would be Sunday Night Football. Like, it would be the most hyped up game of the year, and that would be some must-see television. So today's April 8th, so this is all we have so far. I'm not going to be shocked if more tweets come out from either Juju or AB, or more tweets from NFL players or people associated with the NFL tweet out something in regards to this situation. I really hope there are, because I love drama, and I think this is fantastic, and I hope there's more of it. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on the situation. I just wanted to talk about it briefly, figure out what exactly was going on, and just figure out what AB is doing. So what are your thoughts on the situation? Are you on AB's side? Are you on Juju's side? I don't know why you'd be on AB's side, but hey, if you are, that's perfectly okay. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think. But yeah, that wraps it up for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in a future video.